Hi, this is Tandy Gutierrez, and this is your Mat and Kitchen core tutorial. So if you are embarking on the mat with me for the very first time, or if you've been training with me for many years now, it is always so good to go back to the basics, right? Pilates is based on your core contraction. So you gotta know where you're building from in order to really get the most and reap the most benefits out of your workouts on the mat. So here we go. Number one, what is your core? It's a very key phrase as far as fitness goes and with Pilates, but what is it? It kind of gets bastardized into your abs, and it is so much more than that, okay? Your core is the bottom of your pelvic floor, all the way through the last two vertebrae in your spine. And this is important to know because it's your entire torso. So when we talk about core strength and we talk about core results, this is a significant portion of your body, right? Like all the goods are in here, all of your internal organs, all of the important parts are here. So your core is really important for it to be strong and healthy and with that balance of suppleness and flexibility in it, because so many things happen here. Your abs are a major part of it, right? A major portion, but it's not the only thing that's going on, okay? So how do you connect to your core? Interesting thing is because it's all these internal pieces, it can sometimes be difficult for us to engage those or connect to it. In order to get the results and to gain strength in your body, you've got to connect at your core. And it's easier for us to connect appendages, right? Like make a fist that flexes your bicep, you squeeze your armpit that flexes and engages your upper back, you know how to get your tush to squeeze and you go, okay, there are my glutes. But the core is a little more mysterious and you gotta go a little bit deeper. So here's how we do it. Number one, you're gonna start with your breath. You're gonna inhale, imagine inhaling into the back of your rib cage, and then exhale at the back of your rib cage. Okay, keep trying to work with that. Inhaling into the back of the rib cage and exhaling out the back of the rib cage. By aiming for the back of the body, when you breathe in and out, you're starting to work with your lungs. Your lungs are a three-dimensional balloon, right? And so you want to try to fill up all of the space in there for the benefit. We tend to breathe very shallow, panicked in our chest, or we get into this deep belly breath of relaxation, usually with yoga, but that's not really how our breath is built to move. It's built to move and inflate your lungs. So try it again. Inhale into the back of the rib cage. Exhale at the back of the rib cage. So we start with breathing to get connected to your core. You're going to inhale through the nose and exhale at the mouth. Let the jaw drop like you're saying ha. You don't have to make a lot of sound, okay? Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Okay, there's a biomechanical connection. One, you're gonna fill up in the lungs. Two, as you exhale and you let your jaw drop, it biomechanically connects your low belly, your low core. So work with that, right? Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. So then you put the two together. You inhale in through the nose, into the back of the rib cage. Exhale, let the jaw go out the back of the rib cage. Okay, so then you layer in the next piece. So you're gonna inhale, scoop that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale out the back of the ribs. Inhale to scoop it up. This is where you start to really connect and engage your core. Exhale out the back of the rib cage. Inhale to lift up like you're putting on your skinniest pair of pants. Exhale like somebody's taking a picture of you in those skinny pair of pants, okay? One more time. Inhale to lift that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale, send the air out the back of the rib cage and hang on to that, okay? Hold on to this. So you're not holding your breath, that's key. Your breath is moving. That's why I can hold on to this and still talk to you, okay? It's a practice. This technique will not make sense overnight. Ask those who've been on the mat with me for a long time. It takes time for it to be consistent. It's muscles, and they've got to get stronger in order to be easier and quicker to engage, right? So then the next piece, your pelvic floor. So the bottom of your pelvic floor, you want to lift up on it. And you go, what does that mean? We're going to get to be good friends and pretty close right now. You're going to do a Kegel squeeze to lift up through the pelvic floor. So it's that squeeze of muscles that you use when you're trying to stop going to the bathroom midstream, honestly. So you're gonna lift up in there and just be like, oh, okay, cool. And then exhale, release everything because that's a lot of work, okay? Inhale the belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale all the air out the back of the ribs. Hold. Then give your little pelvic floor a little Kegel squeeze. Give it a little hug. And then release, okay? And you go, Tandy, this sounds like a lot already. In the workouts, you're just gonna do as much of this as you can. We're working on balance. It's a practice, not a perfect. So you don't have to do everything perfectly. You just gather all the pieces that you can. You do the very best you can that day on the mat. This will start to become second nature, okay? So again, inhale, lift that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale at the back of the ribs. Then give your pelvic floor a squeeze with the Kegels, and then release. If you are trying to aim for that squeeze, you go, Tandy, I can't feel anything. And for those of you who've had babies, that may be very true, okay? It's a muscle group like everything else, and the stronger it gets, the more you can feel it. If it's very weak and it needs some attention, it's gonna be a leap of faith, and you're just gonna have to go, okay, I'm just gonna try, okay? So, inhale to lift that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale at the back of the rib cage, hold it there. Try to find the Kegel squeeze and lift. Hold that. Squeeze down in the armpit. Release. Okay, we're adding the armpit squeeze because your whole torso is your core, right? So you want the lift from the bottom, and then you're gonna need a little squeeze from the top. So almost think of it like a coffee press, that you've got all the grinds and grounds at the bottom that make wonderful coffee. I'm a coffee lover. And then you've got the coffee press that pushes, right, to give tension and a kind of resistance, and then all the good stuff bubbles up. So inhale to lift your belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale it out the back of the rib cage, hold. Squeeze, your little Kegel squeeze, then squeeze down on the armpit. Don't let it make you shorter, not the goal. We want to be taller. Squeeze down in the armpit, but lift up in the spine, and then release, okay? One more time to go through all of that. Inhale, lift that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale it out the back of the rib cage and hold. Squeeze through the bottom of the pelvic floor, then squeeze down in your armpit. But feel taller and regal and empowered because of it, and then give it a little rest, okay? That is your mat and kitchen Pilates core contraction. It does take time for it to fit in, okay? And so do not think that's gonna be an easy access point. Oh, it's just gonna magically, happen every single exercise, every single workout. It takes time and no big deal. But this is why we do a little tutorial, because even as an advanced student, you want to take that time and dig in there. Honestly, you can kind of always go deeper, and it gets even more exciting as you get stronger, because you can start to feel all of that squeeze and lift and connection. That's so very healthy for the body, okay? So, you've got breathing, you've got the belly button lift, you've got a Kegel squeeze, and you've got an armpit squeeze, right? So all of these pieces work together. In the workouts, you're gonna hear me say a lot of pull your rib cage back in. I'm gonna show you what that means. So I'm gonna turn to the side. So when we breathe, we tend to get kind of excited and we go, and the rib cage goes out, right? If you pull your rib cage back, or knit your ribs together, which is what you'll hear me say, the rib cage ends up over the hips, because it's all about alignment and form and technique in Pilates. So inhale to lift that belly button up underneath the rib cage. Exhale to hold your rib cage in or knit the rib cage so that we're not here. When you're here, it dumps into your low back, and that's exactly not what we want, okay? So these are your pieces. If you ever get caught in a workout and you go, I really don't know what she meant, go back to the video, try it again, or just reach out to me, email, or on social media. My email is tandy@matandkitchen.com, and it's really super simple to get a hold of me. So your M&K core contraction can be done anywhere, right? Driving, sitting in traffic, standing in line, at the grocery store, at your desk at work. These are perfect places to practice this Pilates core contraction, because the more often you do it, the more often it becomes ingrained in your muscle memory, and then you don't feel like you're constantly fighting it or trying to find it on the mat. So especially on a day when you're feeling like, oh, the whole world is falling in, lift up, practice a little bit of your M&K core contraction. The contraction is wonderful for many things, right? Number one, it's gonna add to your results. The deeper you get, the more often you practice it, the more results you're gonna get externally and internally, strength and definition, okay? From a health perspective, working this core contraction really benefits your internal organs. I mean, this is everything, your stomach, your intestines, all of it. And every time you're lifting, you're giving them a little massage and a little squeeze, and that's helpful to them. Believe it or not, your intestines can get stuck in places, smushed. And again, especially if you've had kids, I hate, I'm not meaning to keep coming back to that, but when you've had a little body in there, they kind of push some organs around, and your body may need a little bit of love to get it back to where it should be. So it's incredibly healthy internally, especially for your digestive system. So the more you can work this contraction, the healthier and stronger your digestive tract becomes, which is fascinating. So you also have less risk of injury all over the body. You also have way less back pain as this core contraction strengthens. So many benefits to your M&K core contraction technique. Practice it anywhere and everywhere. And if you ever get stuck or feel like it's not making sense, reach out to me and ask.